today's value selection. We're going to be looking at League 2. Is it League 2? Shit, League 1 or 2. Mansfield, Bradford. Apologies to any fans, Mansfield or Bradford, mind blank about what league it is. So Mansfield, Bradford, and it's at 7:45. It's an interesting game. There's loads of games that I could have chosen or that I looked through for tonight for value. There's loads listed on the value tab on tonight's spreadsheet, and obviously I couldn't choose all of them because you haven't paid. But Mansfield Bradford's the one that I've gone with. I could have gone with, there's quite a few in the Championship, like Luton away shows value in terms of Poisson, but I know with their manager going to Southampton, that they haven't got a new manager in, as far as I'm aware. It could be disruptive, and I just thought, I don't know. I just don't know how they'll react to that away from home midweek without a manager. Could be dodgy. Wolfsburg, Dortmund. Wolfsburg showed great value at home to Dortmund in terms of the actual data, but then when you look a bit deeper, you see that they haven't beat Dortmund since 2005, and they've got something like 39 goals against them, 5-4 in that time. So I'm complicating it because I always say you should follow the data, but then when I'm looking at things that I personally would put money on, I'm not going to put money on everything that the data says. So if I was doing this, I'm not putting money on anything at the moment, but if I were, this is the sort of thing I'd be doing. I'd be going through the softer stuff as well as the data to decide exactly where I'm going to put my money in. It's the same for what I want to present to you. So I left that one out as well. There was another one, weren't there? Wigan away showed value, and I had Wigan down to win away at the weekend, and they narrowly missed out. They drew with Swansea late on, and so that had me thinking, okay, yeah, they're clearly a decent away team. But then had me thinking, well, they had a hard game on Saturday against Swansea away. Are they going to be knackered? Because they're not going to have the biggest of squads. And so I've decided to, and this is the problem with overthinking, to be fair. 100% one of those results that I've just mentioned will come in because I'm discounting it from this spreadsheet, but we'll move. Mansfield, Bradford. So Mansfield, Bradford. They're level on points. Bradford are a couple of places ahead in the table. But Bradford have had a great away record of late, and they've been unbeaten in the last 5 away games, which is no mean feat, is it? They drew their last game 0-0, but before that they'd won their previous 4 away games. So brilliant form away from home. Mansfield at home have only won 1 of the last 5 home games. They lost 5-2 to Swindon at the weekend, or in their last game anyway. I think it was at the weekend. And before that they hadn't won. They'd only won 1. They drew the others. So it looks like a really good price to me, the 4.2. If you can get anywhere near that for Bradford to win this one, that's where I'd be looking to put my money. And this is a true value bet, really. This is what we're talking about when we're talking about value bets. It's away from home midweek against a team that are level on points with you. It's not by any means a banker, is it? But it's a value bet because we're getting offered more than we think we should be getting offered based on the form, based on the stats. And not every one of these bets is going to come off. I know I sound like a broken record. We're not necessarily putting it on thinking it's definitely going to win. We're putting it on because if we put enough of these value bets on, if we're consistent with the way we do it, then when we do win, we'll be getting good value for what we've placed, what we've staked, and ultimately you'll be ahead of the game in terms of your profit percentages because you've been only betting on value and not throwing money away on things that don't make sense. It's a bit of a long game. It's more of a strategy than it's more of a long-term strategy than a quick win. If you're looking to just quickly win some money at the weekend, for example, I wouldn't suggest looking for value and trying to only bet on value bets, because that's not necessarily going to be the quickest way to win cheap, easy bets. But it is the sensible way to profit long term and to bet or trade with a strategy rather than just intuition. And what I've been talking about today with the other bets, with the intuition, that's that could trip you up. But ultimately, I'm coming from a base of value. So everything that I'm looking at is value. So we're starting with the value betting and then adding intuition on the top of it, rather than the other way around, or completely differently, just basically just intuition. I'm not just saying, oh, Wigan had a hard game at the weekend, they ain't going to win. I'm looking at it as a point of, okay, there's value in Wigan. Is there a reason why I should discount that value? Is there a reason why I should question it? It's always coming from the value first, and then is there anything to discredit it with the softer stuff? But it always starts with the value, and I think that's the important thing. So Wigan, Mansfield, Bradford, that's the game I'm looking at for this evening. If we look at yesterday quickly, what was that, the 7th? Yeah. We had 2 good wins to start the day. In China, we had the under 2.5s come in at 2-0. We didn't bet on the home team win because the odds were so short, but they did win, so it was sort of as predicted. We got the AZ Alkmaar reserves, or young AZ Alkmaar, 2-0 as well. That came in, so that was a nice win. Then the next 2 didn't come in, did they? Real Madrid lost 3-2 to Vallecano, which was a bit of a shock. Yeah, I didn't see that coming at all. I was thinking, is this even value? Because it's sort of slim. But then I thought, well, to get 1.69 on Madrid away from home when they're second in the table, and it is value, and it would have been, but it's crap only because they lost. Yeah, a bit of a shock there. So we lost -1 point there, and the game in Segunda finished 1-1. So the unders would have come in, but I didn't highlight that. I was looking for the away team win, and again, that's a value bet, like similar to the one I'm talking about today. Not quite as big a difference, but it's big enough to take on and hope that, you know, that the data stacks up and they do get a sneaky win. But it finished 1-1, finished 1.1 point up overall because of the 2 earlier wins. So the 5-day total stands at 17 points and 42 level stakes profits from the 3rd to the 7th, and then we'll see how we get on with the 8th today. There's I think there's about 10 or 15 games on this spreadsheet. As you can see, I've collapsed them. There's a lot that, like I say, are quite interesting to look at. So if you are involved in the subscription, then definitely worth a look at that tab today. See how you get on with that. I think that's probably it, isn't it? I'll be back tomorrow to let you know how my Mansfield Bradford bet failed miserably and the rest of them came in, and you can all sort of laugh at that. And I'll be back with some more for the next day. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Should be a couple of videos here for you to have a look at if you want to. It might be alright. And subscribe in the middle. See, these things aren't on my screen when I'm doing this, but I know they will be by the time it's published. Right, see you later.